Shivi, can I see you, please?
Yes, yeah. Am I not visible?
You're visible now. Okay.
Visible?
So
Fine.
this is a place of connections. Like
Right.
Samira beautifully says, this is a place of bonding. And today what we are doing, let me just put it again, Facebook Live. Okay. So, okay, let's go without it right now. Nothing is happening. I'm sure I'll be able to organize it. Okay. So Shivi and I go back many, many years. We met each other. How many years back was it, Zambala? About
Not even before that.
even
Remember
before
the
that.
first workshop you had held with Life Positive in Rishikesh?
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah, so the Ambala happened much later, and I think perhaps it was
2000 and
either 12 or 13. So
yes.
that it is I think 7 years almost that we've known each other. And remember that we were together on the
Yeah,
train.
absolutely. And
That was the first time.
that was the first
Uh,
time, and I'm sure I look. So people who meet me for the first time, I get very labeled as a snob. So I'm very difficult to get through to at that time.
no, not at all.
Not at all.
That's a huge misconception, and perhaps people might be projecting their own misconceptions or their biases onto you, because of all the three people who were like two people who were there with you, you were the only one I felt a deep connection with.
Thank you.
And yes, so, and it was very instant. It was as though I was flowing with you,
Yeah,
and there were no boundaries to collapse, to come closer to each other, which
it
was
just
the
felt as if
hallmark
I
of
was
that.
absolutely. It felt as if I was meeting a friend of mine or someone who I'd met all my life, and then she was here, and like
Yes.
I'm re-meeting her again. That's the feeling I got at that time. And you felt like a pillow of security for me. I mean, I felt very safe with you. And yeah, and the journey has gone on, and we've kind of met each other a number of times, spent time with each other. And right now I'm so happy that you've accepted this invitation. And guys, just for the people who don't know, I did the biggest glitch today. I actually put on the face on her link AM instead of PM, and she's so sweet. She actually went and did a little bit of a program with two people or one person, and came back and she
Seema,
gave me,
Seema Baja.
yeah, she
Seema
gave me
Baja
a
was there.
she gave me a call and said, "Where are you? Where I finished?" I said, "Look, I am sorry. This is the time I am actually sleeping in the morning till 10:30, 11. I'm dead to the world, guys. I don't sleep before 3." And so her topic is how to be in peace in your life. And she is a true example of that peace. There was not even a shadow of anger in her voice. She was so gentle with me in the morning. And I was amazed at my good luck. Thank you, Shivi, for being here. Over to you. This forum is completely yours for next 1.5 hours. Go ahead.
Okay. I hope I have that kind of material to go on speaking for that length. Okay, let's begin. Uh, okay. So now, before I begin this talk, I would like uh, to know from, I think everybody else is on mute, isn't it?
Yes,
So,
everybody's on mute, and
so
whenever you want someone
yeah,
to talk,
yeah,
they can put their hands up, and then they can unmute themselves and talk to you.
great.
Yeah, you
So
will also
now
get
yeah,
you can also get
great.
messages on the chat box, which you
Yes,
can have a
yes,
look at.
yes,
Thank you.
yes, yes. Okay. So now we all know that the topic for today is how to have peace in our life. Now, whenever this word is uttered, peace, what is it that brings to your mind? Why is there a need for peace? What is the attraction that this word peace holds for you? Can anybody tell me? Why have you come today for this talk? What is it that you're looking for? And what does peace mean to you? Anyone?
Hi,
Anybody?
Nivedita here.
Hello, Nivedita.
Hi, Shivi.
Hi.
So, peace basically means for me, what peace is equanimity.
Hmm.
It's something where I'm really not moved. I'm like very centered. So the
Hmm.
good times don't take me to euphoric moments, and the bad don't put me in the dump. So like I'm
Hmm.
like at that's what tranquility, inner serenity
Hmm.
means for me.
Hmm.
Peace.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right, right. Absolutely right. Nivedita is spot on. She has described the state of peace very succinctly. Now, I would like to add another element to this definition of peace. We all know that peace is what, a state where the mind is rested. It is not agitated. And when the mind is not agitated, so when you say that, you are tranquil, you are centered, you are calm, so what is it that, comes to the surface? There, it means that this peace, this calm, this centeredness, this tranquility, this equanimity is already existing within you, isn't it? And there are moments when the mind is not hyperactive, you are able to touch this sense of equanimity and tranquility, which is a part of your being. And that is why it is so beautiful, it is so nectarine, it is so, it is very ambrosial in nature. Ambrosia is something, which is very divine in nature. It is, perhaps you can call it Amrita. So peace is the nature of your soul, your spirit. And during certain moments when your habitually restive mind which is in the habit of thinking, of speculating, of worrying, or taking stress, it has nowhere to go. It has tired itself out. It has given up. Then what happens is that aspect of your being which is already a part of you and which has a beautiful flavor of its own, which can completely take over you and put you in a state of immense calmness. It dawns upon you. You are able to touch that space within you. This is what peace is. Peace is basically a part of our being, our existence. We always have it within ourselves. Why? But because the mind is, we relate to the world and even relate to ourselves, relate to the people in our life. From the space of mind, we find that peace is moving far away from us. So now, again, this question arises that when we say that how to have peace in my life, it means that peace is not there. Life keeps on every step of our life. We keep meeting challenges or difficulties which take us away from this beautiful blissful state, because of which we get so caught in all the drama that peace, which is a part an essence of our being, we are unable to access. But to be very honest, you can never have peace without the mind. There can never be a time in your life when you can say that, I hope that this mind goes away forever and I'm always in a state of bliss. Ye kabhi hoga nahi. Is it okay that, I speak both in Hindi or English, or only English? Hello?
Only English. We have people
All,
from abroad.
okay,
Only
fine,
only
fine.
English, because we have people
Okay.
here from all over.
Okay, perfectly all right. Perfectly all right. So then what happens is, why? Because the life that we are leading, it is agitating us constantly. It is needling us. There is something or the other which is not letting us to be in peace. But is this state undesirable? This question to ask ourselves is this state undesirable? And you will be surprised to know that no, it is not undesirable, because only the movement towards peace happens via the mind. Yeah, for example, let us talk of Lord Buddha. We all know about Gautam Buddha, how he was so agitated by all the conflict that he had come across in his life, that one day he decided to leave everything, his palace, his wife, his child, and all the comforts, and go to the forest to access that peace of calm, the state of tranquility and equanimity, which was devoid of all suffering, all negativity, and all disturbance. Yet, you know what happened? Finally, when he was able to reach that state of complete tranquility, he could not be in that state. He couldn't say that, now that I found peace, I will be here, I will live my life in the jungle, and I will not do anything else. You know what happened? His mind, or rather, a thought came into his mind that it is very selfish. This attitude of taking with the peace that I have discovered and only confining it to myself is a selfish state. And where did it come? It came into his mind, and he took this idea that which had dropped into his mind, and then he decided to go back to the world which is full of suffering, disturbances, lack of peace. He goes back, and what he does, he disseminates the knowledge that he had earned of how to be tranquil and peaceful in the midst of a storm with the rest of the world. So how, see, the first, it was the mind which agitated him. Prodded by the mind, he went to the jungle. He was able to, through a lot of sadhana, to a lot of spiritual practice, he was able to reach that state within himself where his mind was stopped to bother him. And again, the mind came back and told him, now this is a positive mind. It was not a negative mind. That Gautam, you cannot stay in this state forever. You have to go out. And he again goes out. So for me, what I mean to say is that you can have peace in your life, 100%, but only if you learn that the state of agitation that you are in is not inimical to you, is not your enemy. It is not for your detriment. So if you try to run away from it, if you are seeking a heaven, a place where there is nobody to disturb you, there is nobody who is saying anything caustic to you, nobody who is robbing your peace of mind, you will attain a state of peace? No, you will not. Even there have been the cases of people in India and abroad as well, where people have renounced this world to go in search of peace, but they have not been at peace. Why? Because this lack of peace is a part of the program of human existence, and it is in wholeness that you achieve peace. Okay, now let me explain it to you. Any questions? Are there any questions? Hello?
Shahina, you want to ask a question? There was your hand was raised.
No, I raised a hand to answer what is peace.
Okay, fine.
No question.
Okay, so I just thought in case anybody has a question, I can take it in the middle also. So now when I say that you cannot achieve peace, it's a process. Peace is also a journey. Peace is not simply a state of bliss. It is a state of bliss, but there is an entire journey which is behind it. One cannot just land into peace. We can get glimpses of peace, but the kind of peace that we are all hankering after, the kind of peace which we are desiring, the state of constant undisturbed tranquility, will not happen unless and until we accept that disturbance is a part of the grand overall design. Once you accept it, then you will know how peace gradually descends upon it. Now, for example, let me just begin with an example. We all know that we have incarnated on this earth for a special reason. We are not here forever. Is everybody in agreement with me? I hope we all are. We know that we all have some kind of a mission, some kind of a life purpose to fulfill, some desires to fulfill, some certain learnings to complete. So that is why we come over here. And it is this disturbance which is ultimately leading us to the fulfillment of those desires, or the fulfillment of that life purpose, or the fulfillment of those learnings. For example, uh, when you are growing up, see, as a student, when perhaps you have completed your intermediate, your 12th board exams, and you are beset with the challenge of what career to choose, which career path to take. So is it something which will come easily to you? No, it does not come easily. The purpose of your life, no, we all have it, kind of in our DNA. It is imprinted, but it does not get revealed to us right away. It gets revealed to us gradually through stages, through a lot of external and internal activity. A lot of inner turmoil is involved in ultimately reaching that state of knowledge of your life purpose. And it begins through small glimpses, for example, and through small struggles in life. So, for example, that's what I was talking about. For example, that you want to know which career path to choose. And there are plenty of people to advise you. Somebody will say, okay, please I think it's better to become a doctor. Somebody will ask you to become a lawyer. Somebody might say, no, perhaps doing a business is the most intelligent or smartest thing that you can ever do. And for a while you will struggle. For a while you will struggle. Perhaps you might fail also. But through this failure, but you will realize that, unless and until, for example, I am doing what I was inherently born to do, what was my inner calling was, you will not attain that peace which you want. So that peace is not one thing. Peace has many segments in your life. And when you are gradually and more, kind of inching towards the completion of those segments in your life, and I'm not saying that it is the same for everyone. Each of us has different learnings to complete, different purposes to fulfill, and it gets revealed to us through these needlings, through these pinches, through these problems. So for now, and this peace is ultimately, this entire journey towards peace is leading, it's very closely linked to this, your life purpose. So now, for example, now kind of say you have failed. You tried your luck at business, you couldn't succeed. You perhaps you tried your luck at some profession which somebody told you that you please do it. Why? Because it'll get you some money. You even did earn money, I'm not saying it, but somehow, and there's an enough turmoil, that conflict, that I'm not happy. Now this is a voice, and if one gets to a state in life where one actually introspects, you sit back, you decide to listen to the voice within, behind this mind, which is telling you, you will know, okay, this is what I was supposed to do. And if I did this, it does not matter whether I fail or I succeed, it will give me peace. Perhaps I want to become a social worker, and it may not be as lucrative as any other businesses, but if I did it, I will feel happy from within. When you're happy from within, there's a circle which was waiting to get completed. And if you actually start walking this path, you will realize that a particular segment got completed. You are at peace. And these segments are now, it's not that it's only related to one aspect, that it is related to career. The disturbance and pains, or the lack of peace, now again can come to you in the form of poor health. It can come to you in the form of painful relationships. It can come to you in the form of, say, financial problems, plenty of things. And each of these problems has a certain learning and a lesson. And if you try to run away from these lessons and try to achieve peace by avoiding them, you will never be able to attain peace. And each of these problems has hello. So am I clear? That peace is a journey. Peace is, it's about taking self-responsibility. It's about believing in the grand overall design, and it's also about positive self-talk. if you have negative self-talk, if then you are sabotaging your peace. It's very important. Every time you're critical of yourself, you have to create an inferno for yourself. No matter how much people tell you, no matter how much people appreciate you, no matter how much people criticize you, if what you think about yourself is not in consonance with the plan which the higher self has for you, you will not be at peace. So it is, as you move forward in your journey, you will realize that peace is very deeply linked to yourself. Both peace is very deeply linked to your life purpose, and peace is very deeply linked to your inner talk. How is it that you're talking about with yourself? So as you start believing in the importance of your role on this life, on this planet Earth, you start inching closer to peace. You start believing in yourself, you start believing in your interconnection with the universe, and you also begin to see how even the lack of peace is very intricately woven in this whole design to make you reach your highest potential. So it is the acceptance of the lack of peace, complete total acceptance, which will eventually make you peaceful. It is a very important part of anyone's life who is on the path of self-growth. When you accept that lack of peace is part of this grand overall design, and which is again a very healthy thing, it's not negative, you become very, very self-confident. Then your mind stops to agitate you. Then your mind begins to calm down. Then your mind begins to actually think in very creative ways. Then you start realizing that no matter how bleak the situation is, no matter how difficult or impossible it seems, there are always solutions, there's always a way out, and there is always help available. If you know these three things by heart, that help is available, no problem is insolvable, and that whatever is happening is for my own betterment and growth, you will stop being disturbed by disturbance around you. This state itself will take you closer to that state of peace, where you will come to a place where in your surroundings there is nobody who is saying rude words to you, who's behaving badly with you, where your clients are not cooperative with you. All these things will gradually minimize. Wherever you will go, whatever you do, it will turn into gold. And success begins to happen, peace begins to dawn, relationships begin to get beautiful. Why? Because you are, and not only that, even your health also becomes better. Why? Because you are now in total acceptance of the unrest around you. For example, let us take for example the current pandemic, the contagion which is spreading like wildfire and affecting each and every single person. Now the entire human race is on one boat in an unprecedented manner. And all of us can very easily say that what you are talking, Shivi, is humbug. Why? Because there is no space to act. There is no space to act or change my circumstances. Peace is also linked to right action. Only when you take right action, which the lack of peace is prodding you towards, would you be able to find peace. But here in this situation, there is little to no scope for action. What is how, and when we are living in a state of a pressure cooker, the pressure is building. If I actually give into the disturbance of my mind, my entire life is going to go haywire. And which is happening, we are seeing it all around. Just when I have to take the newspaper, pick up the newspaper, we will see there's plenty of domestic violence happening in homes. People are literally killing and murdering each other. Why? I am not saying that all these things were not there in the past, but people still had certain outlets. People had outlets. People could go out. People could perhaps seek shelter somewhere. Here nothing is happening. But the plus point of whatever this situation is, this kind of things which are coming to the surface, is that you can now no longer hide from your problems. You cannot brush them under the carpet. You have to face them. So this is a learning that your pretenses will not work. You have to look at the enemy in the eye. Whatever problems you have, whatever you have been suppressing, whatever you've been avoiding to look at, whatever you are pretending is not going to work. And this is ultimately going to make you take those measures, take those steps which will free you from these unlivable circumstances. Am I right? Let us just take, for example, something which has happened in India. We know of that actor Nawazuddin Siddiqui. We've read about the reports that his wife sent him a legal notice asking for divorce. And what was that which she cited? She said that this lockdown and this separation has given her the time to introspect. Now, I'm not going into the right and wrong and who's right or in this situation. I'm not going that deep. I'm just taking things on face value. So what she says is that this lockdown gave me the opportunity to actually sit back and reflect on my life. And she felt that she was selling herself short in this relationship and she deserves much more. And therefore, she felt that this is the time to step out of it. Some people will criticize her, some people call her a gold digger and whatever. But let us also recognize the fact that plenty of domestic violence is happening in many other homes, where whatever the hidden issues are now coming to surface. Okay, now this is one aspect. Another aspect is of peace. When you say that we don't have any outlets to act. For example, finances have become a major issue this time because businesses all around are going for a six. The economy is collapsing. Their businesses are shutting down. Jobs are getting lost, and there are salary cuts are happening. People don't know from where their next square meal is coming from. There's a storm outside in Orissa and in West Bengal. We feel totally powerless in this situation. So is it possible for any of us to be peaceful in this situation? And is there something which we can do to change the situation? No, we cannot do anything. So then how to be peaceful? It's very simple. If we consider ourselves a tiny particle of the grand overall design, which is running the show everywhere in the world, we can very clearly see that this time, there is no human will involved anywhere. The free will which human beings have been blessed with has been taken away from us completely. So if the free will is not there, simply some other will is there, it means the divine will is there. Everything is being orchestrated perfectly and very wonderfully run by the divine now. Because the freedom to act is not there. The freedom to do something to change your situation is not there. If finances are a problem, I cannot go and look for another job. Can I? Is there any vacancy? And even if there is a vacancy, can the owner of that particular organization or the company ensure me a regular income? Nobody can. If there's a storm outside, so which government in this world can stop the storm which is currently raging in West Bengal? No one. We can do is perhaps run for cover and go underground. That's all we can do. So if you realize this, for me it has worked like this, that I understood that since my will is not being allowed to function, the divine will is there, and when the divine will begins to act, all that I have to do is to surrender, to trust in the process, trust that I am being taken care of, because a higher force, a bigger force is now changing the way we used to live and function. It's paradigm shifts are now taking place. It's like the changing of gear. The Mother Earth is now changing gear. Like perhaps it was in like third gear, so now it is now going to the fifth gear, and we cannot do anything. So best we can do is go with the flow and trust in the process, because this mind will just make you mad. We are habituated to being in control in whichever way we can. Now we cannot control anything. So best is to just let's go with the flow. Let's go with the divine. Let us trust in the process. Let us do the minimum which we are supposed to do to protect ourselves, and believe that help will arrive when it has to arrive, and it will arrive, and it happens. This particular attitude has filled my life with so much of peace that in these 2 months of lockdown, I've not had a breakdown of even once. I have smiled through it. I have sometimes felt a little bored, but even then I've had so much of my office work to do, and so much of sadhana one can do. It's the greatest time to connect with your inner self. Greatest time, if you have time, instead of worrying, you can sit down, you can meditate, you can uh, talk to God, you can try and calm your mind, because this situation also is a great opportunity to not only build a bond with your family members, but with yourself, with your higher self, which was always suppressed by the talk of your mind. You cannot do anything. You can do nothing to change the situation. The best you can do is to listen. Does the universe have a message for me? What is it trying to tell me? Can I trust the process? I 100% know that there is a higher power which is taking care, which is organizing, which is orchestrating the whole uh, scenario. So it will take care of me as well. And I've seen that in every situation, whenever I have given into the proddings of my, by my conscious, what is it that you need? For example, I am feeling very perturbed from within. Now, okay, now it is my mind which is agitated. Somebody has said something very annoying. I'm hurt. Somebody has done something which has made me very, very disturbed or unhappy. My peace of mind has gone away. So what can I do in that situation? The the ideal way is to wait for the mind to settle. In a disturbed mind, you cannot think of anything constructive. 100% the mind is there to lead you to peace, but at the same time, you should know how to harness your mind. You cannot, if you learn to master your mind, do not give in to your mind. Do not make the mind your master. If you made the mind your master, your life will also go down the same way, which plenty of other lives are going. Somebody is like committing suicide, somebody is killing somebody else, somebody is sabotaging him, leaving the family behind and going for some extramarital affair, and eventually putting a matchstick to your entire life. So why? Because you, instead of being the master of your mind, you become the slave of your mind. So the mind also has to be used in a very constructive manner to be able to reach that space of peacefulness within you. And the best way to harness your mind is to go beyond the mind. There is a watcher within us. There is a higher consciousness. There is an intellect. The intellect, the intelligence, the common sense, basically I would like to call it common sense, is the one which should be given the control of your mind. And it is a sense of awareness which is always beeping behind your head, that whether reacting in this situation is good for me or bad for me, whether retaliating will be helpful or not helpful, whether restraint is important or standing up for myself is important. So it is the watcher behind the mind which, when takes over, you begin to use your mind in a constructive way, use the proddings of the mind to create a wholesome life for you. For example, let me quote an example. For say you are in a very unhappy marriage. Now, when you had married, you had gone into the marriage with plenty of hopes that you will love your husband, you will respect and you will take care of your in-laws, and you will be a wonderful housewife or a great breadwinner. I'm sorry if I'm not taking into account men. So if anybody feels that, I can switch the roles also. I'm just talking like that. And yet what happens is that what happens? That you go over there and you find that, oh my God, the situation is not as per your expectation. You are not appreciated. Perhaps you are being put down. People are finding fault in the way you cook, you keep your house, or your qualification. You are taunted for your, say, a mediocre qualification. So your dreams have now shattered. Now you have to either you can give in to the disturbance of the mind and become negative, or you can sit back and think that is there a message? What is the situation trying to tell me? What is there in it which is meant for my self growth? And then if you act on it, you will gradually come to a space where your life is much more peaceful. Why? Because whatever lessons were meant for you in that situation, you were able to learn. Now for example, uh, perhaps you are a people pleaser. Hmm? You went into the marriage wanting everybody to validate you, appreciate you, and kind of you were doing everything in your power to please everybody. What happened is that you did not get it. Rather, people treated you like a doormat. Then if you sit down and reflect, you will realize somewhere, and it's not true for everybody, it's just an example. There can be other reasons also, but if somebody is a people pleaser, you will realize that, excuse me, I am not respecting myself. I am not valuing myself. It is I who is giving away the reins of my life to other people to make me happy by returning my gestures. So if you can learn the inherent message in that state of unrest, you can learn those lessons, and when you learn those lessons and when you implement those lessons, you will see that ultimately you have reached a state of peacefulness. So let's say if I am consider myself, I am a people pleaser, and I now I realize that I'm not getting my due in my marital house, and I, instead of looking for a solution, all that I do is go to my friend, go to my mother, and just complain and cry, get some sympathy, and come back. Is it going to help? But if I decide, if I learn to meditate, if I take um, advantage of whatever moments of silence I'm getting, and then I reflect on myself, I will realize that the fault is not of my in-laws. They are simply a reflection of my inner state. And my inner state is, please appreciate me because I'm so good. I want a validation from outside, from my in-laws. I am not content. I don't know myself, who I am. I don't even know my value. I know nothing about myself. And secondly, I just keep on suppressing my voice. I don't stand up for myself. If I am not standing up for myself, I cannot expect anybody in the world to stand up for myself. And there have been cases where women who have led oppressed lives, when they have gathered the strength, the spiritual strength, to believe in themselves, to stand up for themselves, to speak the truth, their circumstances have changed. Many people are afraid of conflict. Many people are afraid of, they are okay with false peace. If it's happening, it's happening, let it be, I will manage, no matter how ill you become as a result of it. But if there comes a time when you realize that, excuse me, it's all about me and nobody else is to blame, and I want to be valued for who I am, let me value myself. In the state of reflection, you will realize, you definitely will realize, that the reins of your life are always in your hands. It is you who decide to give it away to somebody else, and then he or she may not use it according to your expectations. You will not to use those reins according to how you expect them to. So if I decide to speak my truth, no matter what happens, for example, I might get threatened by a divorce, or kind of get out of this house, or if you have to live, you have to live this certain way. You are ready to face the consequences. I'm But that does not mean that, you know, you raise a hell in your life. You become very reactive. But it is important to learn this lesson of speaking up for yourself with dignity, with poise, with grace, and with confidence in yourself. If you have done your bit, will the circumstance change, and only will you then reach to the next level of growth and ascension in your life, and a state which is far more peaceful than it was earlier. And this is a tried and tested experience which I'm speaking, because I come from say I did have a divorce in my personal life. Okay, and yet I don't know, I could be one of the fewest women on this earth who was not at all disturbed when it happened. I was happy, I was free, I was cool, I was calm. I never shed a single tear because of it, because I was being true to myself, to my higher purpose, to my goal in life, which was to leave a relationship which was abusive in nature, which did not have respect, and where, despite doing everything, the situation was refusing to change. And then, if when I realized that this is who I am, and this is what I stand for, and this is what my value is, and it is better to move, kind of move away from a relationship which where there is no equal give and take, I became very happy. That was a moment of great peace and liberation for me. And after that, my life has been, a gradual ascension into peace and greater peace, because I was able to close a chapter very constructively. I learned whatever was there in it for me to learn. Everything, in every, whether it was health wise, career wise, spiritually, there was a lot to learn in those 5 or 6 years. And when life threw me lemons, I made lemonade. I said, what is it that what I can do to change or better my situation? And I did not go complaining and crying and shedding tears about my misfortune or how God has been so unkind and unfair to me. No, I could say that there is nothing which is unfair in this world. There is nothing which is unfair in the world, and this is the right attitude. Nothing is unfair. It is you who are unable to recognize what the situation is meant to bring to you. If you are able to see it, to view it, learn your lessons, make your lemonades, drink it, you will come out very healthy. And then you will achieve that state of peace which was always there, but you were unable to access. Why?
Shivi, your voice is trailing. Shivi, your voice is cracking. Shivi, my dear, your voice. Shivi, your voice is...
Hello?
Yeah, now you're back.
Hello?
Now
Yeah.
you're back.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that is and this peace is not only simply a part of your soul, it is also a great indicator that you have been successful in completing your lessons. This peace is a message. You are at peace. Why? Because you are solving the purpose for which you were born, even though it is being revealed to you in stages. But as you go on completing each and every stage of your life, you will see that you're getting more and more peaceful. This got completed peaceful, that got completed peaceful, that got completed peaceful. There was a time I was used to be a very, very unhealthy person. All kinds of ailments I suffered from. But then what was the takeaway from those ailments? There were huge takeaways. I learned to take self-responsibility. I learned to eat in moderation. I learned not to give in to greed, like greed for food, which like I was guilty of before. So I learned those lessons. I learned to make an exercise a part of my life. And most importantly, I gave up negative self-talk, which was a very big reason for my bad health. I was constantly criticizing me. I'm useless. I'm worthless. I don't know anything. I must be the worst person to be born on earth. That was the kind of inner talk. So it is not surprising that there was no peace and no health and no success in my life. But this particular state itself was able to lead me to peace when I determined to beat my problems and come out a winner and not give in to the negative self-talk. I learned to rein in my mind, take the control of my mind in my hands. And I was able to, now I can very confidently say that there is no, I don't feel that, I can say I have a lot of positive self-talk. I don't have any talk in my mind. The quotient of peace, when it kind of rises in you, you don't even need to have any peaceful, any positive self-talk. It's not important, necessary. Peace itself is talking in you, within you, through you all the time. It's such a high frequency. Do you even need to convert into anything positive? That's a very desirable state where you are even free for the need of positive self-talk. There is no need. The positive self-talk is necessary when you're trying to alchemize, when you're trying to change something from a state of negativity to a state of positivity. But when this process is over, when you have done your work, I'm not denying the importance of positive self-talk. It is very important. But once, as you're completing the levels of your education on earth, your lessons on earth, there'll come a time when the need for positive self-talk will also drop. There is no need for any talk. The bliss is filling you from top to bottom. You are enjoying it. You know that life is there for you. The process of life is not inimical to you. It is holding you with both hands. It is loving you with both hands. It has so much of love for you that you can't even imagine. And it was your critical thought, your negative thinking, which was not letting you experience the love that universe has for you. Even in your darkest of moments, the universe has love for you. And what is darkness? Darkness is that when you have no connection with your inner voice, you're steeped in your negative thought or negative feelings. You have no faith left in yourself. You have no faith left in the universe. You have no faith left in positivity. Nothing you have. But if you could, through self-effort, start believing in the love that the entire universe has for you, you will automatically come to a state of restfulness. Yes, what is there to worry? As long as I am doing my part, I am playing my part of my self-evolvement, the universe is there to support me. If I am running away from myself, people run away from themselves. So many things we don't want to change within ourselves. And then it is ultimately we who are to blame for it. For example, we know that to get any kind of result, we have to act, we have to work. We can't say, but then, when the time comes to work, I get filled with fear, or I get filled with laziness, or I begin to procrastinate. Okay, not today, but tomorrow I will do it 100%. Oh, this movie on Netflix is so engaging. I will do it. I will do the work, say tomorrow or day after. And then if you are unable to get the result, who is to blame? So the awareness within you will tell you to get up, to leave it, to do what is right with the most important thing to you. And this awareness is nothing else but the voice of the universe. It's totally up to you to listen to it. It will need quite some discipline. It will require a lot of self-love to be able to do it. But if you are willing to walk that path, you will see how beautifully the universe comes to your aid. Even in the darkest of times, in this pandemic, you will not feel an iota of disturbance in your mind. You know, you are doing this. If this entire universe is, matter of co-creation, it's not simply a creation of God or the universal power. There is a lot of human will involved in how you see the outside world. We have done it a lot. If I could go into it, I can perhaps veer off the main topic also. But such has been the human will, the role of human will in the creation of our, say, our past and our future, that we have made even the formless God take a form and come down. We all are coming from different faiths over here, but every faith has something very beautiful for uh, for everybody to kind of absorb or learn from. So there was a time, when I didn't believe in this personified God. But as I kind of gradually moved deeper into spirituality, I realized that it is not a matter of whether God is formless or has a form. It doesn't matter. God may be formless. The thing is that the humans wanted God to see in a physical form. There have been stories in the in the Hindu scriptures where there are people who have done a lot of undergone a lot of penance to have God as their child or God as their husband or God. And it was this will which forced the God to take forms and come down. So that is the power of human will. The entire dynamics is happening between the universal power and the human will, and it is taking beautiful shapes and forms. And the divine will, in many ways, it is very impartial also. If it is evil that you want to create, it has given you all the tools, you can do it. Obviously the laws of cause and effect are there. So if it's something something which is not healthy for the entire universe, the consequences will be there and you will have to reap it. But if it is for the good of the entire universe, you will see how beautifully the universe returns to you manifold. So never ever say no undermine the value of your own willpower. How your life currently is depends totally on how you have used this power of will. Whether you have used it to waste your life away and become and stay in a state of constant flux and unhappiness, or you have used it very constructively to listen to the messages of the universe to help you unfold your life purpose and gradually come to that state of peace, which is your birthright. This it actually depends on it. So peace is beautiful, it's amazing. I mean, it's one of the most desirable things to have, but there is a price for everything, and the price, if you're not willing to pay, then you will never have peace. I was a few days ago listening to an interview of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and there where the interviewer asked him that are you in favor of peace or are you in favor of war? He was referring to our neighboring country Pakistan, and we are always kind of in a state of war with it. So he gave a very beautiful reply, and I think that it has gone into my subconscious. He said that war is not the solution for anything in this whole world. No war has ever led to anything beautiful or meaningful. But there's one thing I must tell you. He said, only peace can lead to prosperity or happiness. But peace is not something which can be had by the weak. Only the strong can enjoy peace. Only the powerful can enjoy peace. If you are weak, forget about peace. Your life will be beset with conflict, pain, suffering, and turmoil. Why? Because you are not willing to step into your power. He may have said it in a different context, but the fact is, it is true for every single person. Even in your personal life, it is true. You cannot have peace if you don't stand in your power, if you don't take the power of your life in your own hands. Once you do it, each and every negativity is dispelled from your life, from your mind, your body, and your circumstances through positive self-talk and self-work and working in collaboration with the messages of the universe. So, Anu, do I still have time?
Yes, you do. Or we can open for question answers, whichever way you want. Yeah?
Yes, I think let's open for, I've spoken enough.
Okay, let's do questions. So guys, raise your hands, and then we can pick up questions. So raise your hands. Okay, China, go ahead, please. Unmute yourself and go ahead.
Hi Shivi, thank you so much. You make a lot of sense. I'm also somebody who goes very quickly into negative self-talk and start assuming the worst. So in a very practical way, what do you do to hold the reins in your mind and just stop it right there?
I meditate on a regular basis. It happens. It gradually happens to you. So I would definitely recommend that you do a meditation on an everyday basis, and it's a very beautiful meditation which is available online also. If you want, you can take note of it. It is called Maitribodh Dhyan. Maitribodh Dhyan. It is available on YouTube. It is one of the most powerful meditations available right now for this time.
Shivi, could you put the link in the WhatsApp group in which you've been connected, or you can also put it on the chat right now, so people can have it.
Let me.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let me just put it on chat.
Yeah, and others, please raise your hands up who need to ask a question.
Maitribodh Dhyan.
And I have another question also.
Sure, go ahead.
You were saying that if you're not at peace, is because you maybe have not yet fulfilled your purpose, or there's something still left to do. That's why you're not reaching that state. And then you said peace is also action. But when you are in a dilemma of when you don't know what is the right action, you are not able to hear your inner voice or your intuition on what am I supposed to do exactly. Like, how do you go about finding the right action for you?
That is, I think that
get to your purpose.
A very good question. The best way, so the nature of the mind, there are two ways. May I know your name again?
China.
Hina.
China.
China. So the thing is, though the nature of the mind is to stay agitated, the mind also, often what happens is after being in a state of too much agitation, it also calms down. It's simply like, a glass of water where you have put in maybe a tablespoon of soil and you've swirled it. So after swirling, if you just leave it, it will come down, it will settle down. Then you can see very clearly. So give yourself time. Believe that you will get solutions. And when you are in a state of comparative peace, learn to meditate. Do some meditation. This is the biggest tool which has helped me reach where I am as far as my inner state is concerned. Without meditation, I don't think I would have been able to say what all I have said today. Nothing would have come to me. The meditation is very powerful. Why I say it? Why? Because it opens the channel of your connection with the universal spirit, which is there. It is always talking, but we are unable to hear because we are trapped in the mind, in its talk, in its negative self-talk. So when the mind, when it is a little calm, when it is not kind of bothering you a lot, step into meditation. Step into meditation, get into regular practice, and you will very soon see that this is now the calmer state is more frequent in your life. It's the agitated state is going down. This is the secret. Your mind is never try to meditate when you are in an agitated state of mind. It will not work. Rather, it might go the opposite direction. But once you get a glimpse or get access to a little bit of peacefulness, step into meditation and you do it on a regular basis. You will see that then you will not need to find those pockets of peace. That habit will rather bring out that frequency of peacefulness in you. It will be there with you for much longer. And as you kind of progress, you will see that it has become very much more a constant part of your life. Yet at the same time, China, I would also very deeply recommend that if you could do the Sambodh Dhyan meditation, and also there is a program called Bodh, which I have done. There are like 7 levels, but so far there have been only 4 levels have been opened for the public. If you could do it, you will feel that you will have to invest less effort from your side, and there will be greater investment from the part of the universe in helping you stay peaceful. So I'll give those links and details, and I will also like to have your personal phone numbers and contact details. So if whenever I get any information of these programs happening, you can always join it, and you can join it just like you joined this program today. You can do it sitting at home. All the energies which are needed by you will be transmitted to you without you having to be in direct physical contact with anybody. That is a power of those programs. Spiritual energy gets transferred to you straight without you having to move out of your house or meet anyone physically. So this is a very, very crucial time for Mother Earth. Though even though despite you might be seeing a lot of negativity happening outside, but this is also the time when divine energies are entering the earth in much greater force. There's a huge inflow, immense. All that you do is just open yourself to it. You will see an avalanche of it happening in you. You will drown in that bliss. That is the level of positive energy which is coming to earth right now. This is a kind of a portal has opened. A crack has been formed in that circumstances, or say the ether. And if you can take advantage of it, you will not have to do as much hard work as you might have needed before. Take it from me.
That's so beautifully answered. We go to the next person, Amita. Amita, unmute yourself and please ask your question.
Hello, Shivi ma'am. Thank you for wonderful talk. I just want to understand that when we are in mid of a fight, and because definitely our mind is agitated at that time, and if there are some situation where if you don't respond there, I would not say react, but if you don't respond at that moment, and you will never get a chance to speak up again also. So how to keep that in that situation our mind calm and say what we exactly want to say instead of getting into like fight.
Get into an emotion. It's always a choice. Okay. So there's one thing, if you are aware anyways, I was always, whenever I spoke of the mind, I also spoke of the awareness which is there within you and which is always talking to you. Okay. So this awareness will tell you, that is why I recommended meditation, that this is the time when it is important to raise your voice, and this is the time when you just need to hold back. And there's one mudra, it's called Gyan Mudra. Can you see it? So the advantage of this mudra is that immediately it brings the frequency of your mind from, say, the beta state to alpha state. The beta state is a highly agitated state of mind. But this is called the Gyan Mudra. It will get your state of mind to a much lower frequency. And if you can make it, it's very helpful, even if you're not getting sleep also, because mostly we don't get sleep because the mind is hyperactive. If you just make like mudra like this, either within a few minutes you will go into sleep. This mudra can be used when you're facing any kind of emotional conflict in your personal or professional life as well. But only thing is you need to be able to remember it. But if you can make it, you will come back to a state of immediately within a few seconds, and you will know what to say, how to say, and how to respond. But at the same time, what happens is, certain things which have worked in my favor in case of any conflict is, I remember that even if I'm raising my voice, I am not saying anything derogatory to the other person. I am not saying anything which is a personal attack. I am saying what is hurting me. If you can keep this in mind, even in a state of a big conflict also, you will come out a winner. You will not have any trace of guilt in your heart. Why things go sour? Why? Because we lose control over our tongue. Raising the voice is not that, in a state of a conflict. If you're having a fight with your husband, it's okay, normal, we know sometimes we raise our voice because we want to get a point across, or maybe if even in a personal relationship like this, you can't be yourself, where will you be? Okay. There are relationships where you need to kind of mind your P's and Q's. But home is a place where you can be yourself. Okay. If you can't be yourself, then where will you be? And if you are extending this space to the other person, you have the right to the same space. The only thing which goes wrong in a fight is that when you start saying anap shanap, when you make personal attacks, when you say derogatory things, when you bring in your mother and father and upbringing and all those things, stick to the point, say what is your truth, and say what is it that you don't like, that this is wrong and I have heard. Don't ever say ki tumne, that you have said or you did this. This you will create a lot of problems. But I felt bad. I felt hurt. I felt ignored or neglected. Will never, even from a fight, you will come out a winner because you've been able to convey. So never get personal, even in the worst of fights. Never, your pointing finger will escalate things. Things will go out of hand. But stick to, say what you have to say. Raising voice, getting agitated is not that big an issue. Obviously, if husband wives, they'll understand, yeah, which household is devoid of these things. But at least control your words. Then you will not have this problem. Is it okay?
Thank you. Yes.
Wonderful. We have next person who wants to ask question. That is Sarita. And yes. And others, please raise your hand who want to ask question. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Sarita.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Sarita.
Though I joined the talk quite late, but it was really good to listen to you. I just want to ask that during these times, I'm doing a lot of things which I ever wanted to do, but still I'm not feeling it, like I'm not feeling it ease and peace. And everything around me is quite settled. My family is supporting me, and I'm actually learning many things, but still I'm not feeling very comfortable and I'm not finding peace within myself. So how can I help myself in this?
What is it that your mind is telling you? What is the inner talk which is going on? Why have you ever thought that what is it that you're thinking within yourself, that why is there's something which
I'm
is
not able to find. I'm just feeling that I am not doing. I'm still not doing what I want to do, but I'm actually not able to find what is it that I want to do, because the things I earlier planned, I'm doing them now. But even then, I'm feeling that I'm not doing what I wanted to do. So that
so
is where the conflict is.
the conflict is that so many goals of life are those goals which we take from outside. Somebody is learning to do painting, so okay, I should also do. Or somebody is learning to how to do skateboarding, so I will also do. Or somebody is into cooking, so I will also do. So if there's going to be another goal which is only you yourself, you liking. So if we stop comparing our skills with other people's skills, then we will immediately come to do what we were meant to do, what we were born to do. If we'll compare that says everybody or people around me are into this and that, and therefore kind of I must be doing so that I'm not left behind, you will feel this gap. Okay, I don't know whether I'm able to get across, or if this is exactly what you wanted to hear, and if it is not, then you can tell me. Maybe I can help you more.
But actually it is not comparing, because I'm learning the things which are helping myself only, and these are the things of my interest only. So it's nothing to be like anything sort of competition or comparison, but it is my self growth only. But even then I'm not happy.
Then perhaps it could also be there other things. It is you who only you can answer this question, because ultimately it is your life. So there are plenty of things which are going in the back of your mind and your heart. Perhaps, I don't know, maybe there is sorrow within you, something which you might have wanted, it did not come to fruition. Something which was very dear to you is not there. So there are certain pockets in our mind and in our heart which are unaddressed, and which are, if for example something has happened in your past and it's still unresolved, and you decided to move on with your life, and deciding to leave it behind, and it is not healed, it will come back to the healed. So it is you who has to decide, is to find out what is it that is making me sad. What is it that which is still hurting me? That despite doing everything that I wanted to do, something is pulling me back into that memory.
Okay.
If you can pinpoint out, so whatever you had suppressed will come back, and come back only to seek your own love. It's a crying child, no? A crying child which is not patted, which was not told, okay, I understand that you are hurt and you are right wherever you are. It's okay to get hurt and you deserve all the love, sympathy, empathy. Yes, you were wrong. We deny ourselves these small, you know, what to say? I'm not getting the right word, but yes, we are deserving of our own love and compassion which we deny ourselves to. So if we are hard on ourselves, the inner child will cry and will not let you be happy in doing what you're doing unless you have paid the child that attention. You have loved it, you've patted it, you've consoled it, and you think it's all right. Okay?
Guys,
Don't
can
judge us.
everybody mute themselves, please? There's somebody whose speaker is very on and is creating noise. Okay. Anybody else for questions?
Thank you, Shivi. Thank you.
Anybody else for questions? Okay. So what we'll do right now is I'm going to just, would anybody like to share a feedback or share how you felt about this? Please raise your hands up. Would anybody like to give a feedback and share how they felt about this talk? Okay, thank you. Aarti,
Arup, may I
please
speak?
go ahead. Yes, please.
Okay.
Hi, Shivi.
Hello, Aarti. Archana, no? Sorry. Dr. Archana.
Hi. Shivi, बहुत खतरनाक topic, peace. But generally most sorted off topic and presented very beautifully.
Thank you so much.
Really beautiful. Thank you. Lot of learning, lot of things, lot of introspection goes on with it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. You're most welcome. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. You found some meaning in it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Aarti, unmute yourself and talk.
Hi, Shivi.
Hi, Aarti.
So
So
I want
nice
to.
to see you again.
Yeah.
So nice to see you again. I never forgot you after I met you in Zorba.
Yeah. So I loved your talk. It was very, very nice. In the sense, you also discussed about your personal story that makes it more this thing to understand that it's coming from a space of experience, and it also gave a lot of power in this time. Because I know many people who are in this situation. What you exactly spoke. So you spoke exactly what people are in the situation right now. So thank you so much. That brings a lot of insights.
Thank you, Aarti.
So Shivi is a very genuine person, guys. I mean, she's been through a lot in her life, and one thing that you can really admire about her, she's not somebody who just gave pravachan to herself. She took actions, and those actions were not easy. She was at one point in Mumbai. She shifted the city. She's right now in Delhi. So, we believe that we will be sitting down and things will change by itself. That never happens. We got to get up and we got to take those small actions. And she took a lot of small actions to reach where she is. From the girl who I met in the train to the person who she's become right now. She's evolved and she's emerged as a person of her own identity. She was lost. She's not lost anymore. So when I look at her, the thing that comes to me is, it's okay to be lost at times. It's fine. Have patience with yourself. We have patience with the whole goddamn world. But I saw Shivi having patience with herself. It wasn't that she never cried, or she didn't have a tough time, or she didn't think of, this is the end and it's never going to go ahead. But she never gave up. The biggest story is, we give up very easily. Shivi Verma never gave up. And that's why she reached the place where she reached. I just needed to say that. Thank you. Uma, could you please unmute yourself and ask or give your feedback? Thank you.
Thank you, Anu. So do we have time? I wanted to share something.
Yeah, we have time.
Hello, Shivi.
Hello, Umaji.
You have namaste. You have discussed about Sambodhyan. So I wanted to share something about Sambodhyan. Um, I was on a blockage in my spiritual journey. I'm 65 years old, and since the last 20 years, I was seeking for something. And somewhere I felt a blockage. So I did PLR for my blockage, spiritual blockage, what had happened. And then I got an answer that in my previous birth, some people had poisoned me because of my inclination towards spirituality. And while my soul was leaving the body, it had vowed against spirituality. Okay, it will never again go into spread. That was a blockage in my life. After my therapist cleared the blockage, then someone introduced me to Anu's this session. And my first session was when I met Smita Jacob. Yes. And as soon as I saw her, a flash of light came into my mind, like some light had flashed inside.
Great. So amazing.
My God, what is that? I thought, what is that now? And then after a few minutes, she discussed about Dadashi. I took it as some link. And then I see some link in my spiritual journey. Because Dadashi, she was discussing everything about her. So I had searched in Google for Dadashi. And then I don't know how I got connected to Mohini ji, to Anupama ji.
Gee, I had a talk with Mohini ji in the morning.
Oh.
I just called her.
So,
It's so nice to know you're part of the family.
So it was the first time that I felt that I had come home in my spiritual journey. I was following so many things, but still I was not feeling at home. Then I called Smita ji and I told her what I had felt, and she guided me more towards my.
That's so true. It's something which can only be tasted and experienced. All words fall short to describe what we get over there. So it's like, if your cup is small, then you will have to literally. There's so much it's being given over there that you realize that when I'm going there, let me take the biggest cup over there, because a small cup will not be able to take in all that which is being imparted, or not even imparted. It is raining, it is showering. And it is so nice, Umaji, that you are there, because this is the right time to share with others what we have. We cannot explain it. It is beyond words, but we can definitely offer that cup to others. That I have tasted it, that ambrosia, that nectar, that divinity, that peacefulness. Can you come? Please come share this cup with me. You will also enjoy. So this is very important, and I request each one of you to please give me your phone numbers. Perhaps Anu can give it, and whenever the next session is happening,
all the phone numbers are there on the group, Shivi,
on the
WhatsApp.
The WhatsApp group.
And I've already
Thank you, sir. So then 100 great. I will share the next both. The both one which is happening, which can be joined from your homes, and you enjoy what the experience that I'm talking about will become your reality.
Wonderful.
Where you will not need any words to know what peace is. You become peace. You are peaceful all the time. There's no journey to take up. It's there. See,
when they are going to start the both session?
I think I have not gone through their posts.
Shivi will put it up.
I will share. I think maybe they are planning it. It's going to happen. So I will share the details on the group.
Wonderful. Saraswati Pradhan has a question. She's lovingly called Saraswati. Hi, Saraswati.
Hi, hello, hi, Shivi.
Hi, hello, Saraswati.
Hi,
Saraswati, can we see your face, Sarso? You got a beautiful face.
Okay. So, hi.
Hi, Saraswati. Nice to
Hi.
meet you.
So I just wanted to say thank you for the talk. I was just being a loyal student to Anu and not bunk the section, and I really didn't know what I was heading into. But this talk was amazing, and like lot of introspection. And I think so you answered the questions also pretty well, which was very like great. Thank you so much for being.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anybody else for question, feedback, or anything else? Tick, tick one. Tick, tick two.
Anu, may I?
Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Shivi, the session was amazing.
Can we see
Thank
your
you
face,
so much,
please?
Nutan.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you liked it.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, hi, Nutan.
Yeah, hi. The session was amazing, and as far as my piece is concerned, I feel like the moment you accept everything the way it is, I feel that is the moment of peace. And then afterwards, even if you feel like you are aware and you still need to take action, you are not at peace. But the moment you accept it, you are at peace. This is what I feel, and I'm like quite assured now with this. And let me see where like
It's okay. If it works for you, it's great, because acceptance is a very important part of being peaceful. Unless you accept, only then can you glean any important insight from that whole situation. Now, it can be taking action, it can also be not be taking action, because sometimes the right time has not arrived for you to take action, or perhaps this is how you're okay with it. Now you're very consciously aware that taking action or not taking action is something which you are doing as a conscious choice, and not because you feel that there is no way out. So why it's okay if you're not taking action? Why? Because it is right for your circumstances. Only thing is that you know that you are choosing this particular situation. You are not a helpless victim.
right.
So now you are in a state of power. Whenever you choose,
Exactly.
so it's a state of power. Whether I do it, whether I don't do it, I know I'm the best judge of my life situation, and therefore I have decided that I'm okay with it right now. Why? Because it is in my best and highest interest at this moment. So that's a state of power.
Great. Thank you so much. It empowers me more. Like,
Yes.
thank you
So
so
you
much.
are the best judge of your life.
Yeah.
Nobody else can tell you.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
We have Shamla who has raised her hand up. Shamla, please unmute yourself. And
yeah, hi,
can we
Anu.
see you? Can we see you, please?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Shivi. How are you?
Hi, Shamla. I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm happy. I'm so happy connecting with so many lovely souls today.
Yeah, we are also so happy to have you here. It was a wonderful session. Only that I just want to share that, yeah, whatever that you said definitely had a meaning to me. And secondly, just a few minutes back, what you said to Nutan, Dr. Nutan, that yeah, to be at the present moment is the most peaceful situation. I'm trying to be into that moment. Yeah, so this is what I was thinking, and then you just told, and yes, now I'm confirmed that yeah, we should be at the present moment, because if you know linger back on your past or maybe think about the future, so the peace is lost. And yeah, this is what I'm learning. Yeah, thank you. And thank you for what you just confirmed, and then thank you so much. Lovely.
Thank you so much.
Brilliant. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Anybody else before tick tick one, tick tick two, tick tick three? Can we do a small thing, guys? Can each one of you just unmute yourself, say what your name is, and quickly give me the feedback? We'll go very fast, okay? Let's go. Aarti is already done. Amita is already done. Anya, can you please unmute yourself? Thank you. And we have card reading after this, guys, so stay back. Anya?
It was fascinating to hear. Sometimes the voice was not there, but I think it was a good reflection and lots of new information to digest again. But yeah, I believe that the work is all within us, what we have to do. And Corona time, I keep on saying, I hope Corona lasts a little bit longer. Because it gives us time to sit down and reflect on what we want and what we don't want and what we can disregard and say no more of this in the future. And yeah, thank you very much.
Welcome, Anja.
Anjali, could you unmute yourself? Just say a hi, your name and how you felt.
Hi, I am Anjali, and there's a very big learning for me today with this session, Shivi's session, and I am actually a very, I can say, peaceful person, but the only hitch that I was facing was I could not get what the purpose of my life would be and is. Rather, I have been, the question mark is there since very long, and I've been trying ki ye pata kaise chale. So the thing that I got from this session today is that meditation is the solution to it, and probably if I meditate and I get my inner peace, then it definitely will show me a way where I can get the purpose of my life.
Great. I'm so
Thank
happy
you.
to know that you were able to get this insight. Amazing.
Thank you so
Lovely.
much. I will surely, I do meditate, but I guess I have not reached that space wherein I can get to the purpose of my life.
You will get it. See, the purpose of the life always gets revealed to you gradually in stages. It's not that as right away, as soon as you open your eyes or become aware of your individual self, you'll know. No.
Yes.
It does.
I
Through
connect.
the life, yes. Yeah. So it happens slowly, gradually, as you move forward, as you evolve, as you try or make efforts in life.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so very much, Shivi. Thanks, Anu. Thanks,
Thank you. Ashish, could you please unmute yourself and share?
First of all, thank you, Shivi, for this beautiful session. It was amazing. And today I got to know about the importance of meditation, because currently I'm also working on my purpose of my life. What is my purpose? So today I got to know that by using meditation, you can find out your purpose.
Yes.
And also, peace is very important. And I got to know lots of things about today, how you can be in peace. So thank you very much.
Wonderful. So, Dr. Manorama.
Thank you so much. It was a wonderful session, very insightful session, and there are many ways and means to find peace, and meditation is one of them. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Dr. Rashi Jain.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Kirti Bakshi ji. Kirti, would you like to share?
Just a moment. Hi, everyone. It was a great session. Thanks, Shivi. I was, during this lockdown, I've been actually reflecting along the same point, and the journey introversion is already going on. So I was just building on that. So thank you for adding.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Rishi, Sana, would you like to share how you're feeling today? Sana has recently lost her brother. Sana, how are you feeling today? Okay. Seema, how are you? Okay. Sumita. Shushila. Okay. So we are done with yes, Sana. Yes, Sana. Go ahead.
I'm feeling much better with the Zoom sessions now. Thank you so very much.
You're most welcome. I am so glad you're giving me that feedback. Thank you. Okay. So what I'm going to do is again clip off the recording here.